Q&A.
I have started the recording, so this meeting is being recorded. So please don't worry about if you're not able to attend the whole thing or have to leave in the middle. This will be recorded.
Okay, Reyes, I got to ask a question. I'm not able to see the Q&A on my screen. Am I doing something wrong, or should I be looking someplace?
Yeah, if you click on chat, and the header for chat, you're gonna have general Q&A and DMs.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Happy to help. I also just got my 3rd cup of coffee, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I did not have my coffee today, but I had some tea, so which is very rare.
Well, Laura, we got to talk about that. That's abnormal. Just to be straight up about it. Not having
I usually have coffee, but then I didn't really like. I had some tea, so I'll probably have coffee in the afternoon. That's when my energy level falls off a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
And it's so fun when you guys are talking about coffee and I'm just finished my dinner.
I mean, to be fair, I drink coffee all day.
How do you guys sleep?
What?
I can't drink coffee in the afternoon, or I'll be like up all night.
Oh no!
Yeah, I think
That's that.
I'm lucky. I just have one of those special mutations.
That's that art side of you coming through. Reyes is a PhD in a scientific area. I've got an engineering background. Klaus's background is in accounting and financial management, and Laura works in a law firm. So it must be the other side of the brain that takes over and just throws down the whole. And Ron, of course, is technical oriented also. So we just throw down lots of coffee to stay awake.
I've got it.
Okay, we're beginning to accumulate quite a few users. Hey, people out there, you're certainly welcome. You probably noticed that you can see us and you can hear us. You can communicate among yourselves by using the chat, and please just open it up and feel free to go in and chat back and forth among yourselves. And you can also, we will see the chat also. But because of the number of people that are going to be here today, the technology behind it, we kind of have to close off your cameras and the audio in the process. We expect somewhere probably in the neighborhood of 300 or 400 people here today. So, and you're all welcome.
Oh, looks like we have someone from Toronto. I've heard the fires are pretty bad up there in Canada right now.
Yeah, it's bad. New York, I especially heard they had a warning, and I had friends like wearing masks in New York.
Air purifiers are your friend.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and.
Has Ludovic joined the call?
I've not seen him.
No, we haven't seen him.
I was just messaging him again. So.
Okay. I will do some talking here while you're trying to get a hold of Ludovic. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Okay. Welcome. We are so glad to have you with us here today. This is the June session of the newbie user group. Now, one of the things that we'd like to do as you enter in, grab a cup of coffee, or if you're like Madeline, have some tea, or Laura, have some tea this morning, but grab a cup of coffee. If you would just go to the chat and let us know where you are from, and also if you're going on vacation and you want to share where you're going on vacation, please include that in the chat itself. I just happen to be going on vacation for the next 2 weeks, and I'm going to be going to the Virgin Islands, and I'm really, really excited about that. And actually, my wife is really excited about that. So just share that with us. And any of the panel members, if you'd like to share where you're going on vacation or where you've already been. Sean Highland, you're up there.
Somebody said their vacation was TC23, and I'm like, same here. That was my vacation in a few months. So
Nice.
Okay, there you go.
I will go to France this year. Since we have Ludovic Tavernier with us today, so I think that's a good fit.
Awesome. Yeah, I just got done with a 2-week road trip from the Upper Peninsula in Michigan, which I didn't even know existed, all the way down to Flagstaff, Arizona.
oh wow. Oh, that's
I
great.
got it. Ray,
I
at
wouldn't
a
mind
time
to
of
go
my-
Upper Peninsula.
at a time in a former life, I was living in San Diego and I had to go to Michigan to do a presentation it was in the Upper Peninsula and it was in February. And it was literally from the time I got on the plane and then I got off the plane, it was literally 100 degrees difference. It was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is horrible. Hello, Delaware,
Yeah,
Ohio.
I've never been that far north.
Yeah. Or that cold.
Klaus, I'm also heading to France
We
this
have
year, so
Ludovic.
that's pretty exciting.
Where will you go?
Going to Alsace and Paris.
Okay. Yeah, we will also go to Paris first, and then to Ile de Ré at the Atlantic Ocean. So pretty excited about it too.
We're gonna do.
So I think Ludovic is still struggling to join. I will.
No, he's there. I think he's
he's
here.
there.
Hey,
Okay.
hi
Oh,
everyone.
hi.
Okay, Ludovic, are you with us?
Hi,
Hi, Ludovic.
Ludovic, welcome.
Yeah, me too,
I don't think we've met.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and kick off the meeting now and get things started. Right now we're having people just tell us where they're from, and they're putting a lot of information in the chat. So, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. If you're ready to go, Klaus.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready.
Okay, excellent. Listen, most of you have been here before, but just a little housekeeping so that we're all on the same page here. We are recording this meeting. Okay, so, and the recording of the meeting will be available and be posted on our on the Newbie Hub as soon as we have it available. You'll notice that your cameras have been turned off and your audio has been turned off. There's just going to be too many people to try to actually have live communication with the entire group of people. But please use the chat, talk to one another, and you can. We monitor the chat, so if you have something that you want us to be aware of, put it in the chat. But specifically, if you've got a question about any of the presentations and what we're doing in the presentation, go out to the Q&A and put it in the Q&A. It's so much easier for us to find it in the Q&A and respond to you in the Q&A. Somebody's saying there's a lot of echo when I talk. Okay, let me see if I can make that a little bit different. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better. Okay, this meeting takes place every 6 to 8 weeks. Our next meeting is going to be actually in September because the Europeans are having vacation and we're having vacation, so we're going to have our next meeting is going to be in September, and we'll talk about that later in the presentation. Today, in the how does that work topic, mostly Klaus, but Klaus and I are going to talk about tables and how to make tables and how to customize tables. And then our featured guest today is Ludovic. And Ludovic, would you just unmute yourself for just a second and introduce yourself? Okay. Ludovic, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I apologize for that, but go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, I'm Ludovic, and I work at Ledger as a data visualization specialist and senior data analyst. And I've been here in the Tableau community for several years. And yeah, I'm happy to join and to explain a little to you what are containers and how you can use them to improve your design game into Tableau.
Okay,
And you must have seen some of Ludovic's work on social media out there. So Ludovic is just an amazing designer, and I'm really happy that he's sharing some of his best tricks today with us. Thank you, Ludovic.
Yeah, but both of these guys are being modest. Ludovic is a legend in the community, so we're very pleased to have him here today. Okay. And then later on, we're going to have a little quiz. Okay. We are now in meeting 4. And you can see that today's topic are tables, tables, tables. And that's primarily what Klaus is going to be talking about today. Our next meeting will be September 20th. Okay. And we're going to be taking a look at formatting measures. And this is a question, I know many of you from the forum, this is a question that comes up repeatedly on the forum about formatting and formatting tables and doing custom formatting measures, whether they're in tables or whether they're not in tables. So that's a real hot topic. We also have a very special guest for that meeting also, Andy Kotzgrieve is going to be with us for that meeting. So plan early and mark it on your calendar. That's one that you will definitely want to be in. Klaus?
Yeah, meet the team. So in this, at least in this first part, you will Jim and I talking a lot, but actually we are quite a team, and we have become quite a team over the past month and these 2 years. And maybe that's a good place to introduce everyone. So my name is Klaus. I'm from Münster in Germany. I've been around in the Tableau community almost as long as Ludovic. I started with version 10.2 in 2017. And I've had so much fun since then. And I'm happy to be a part of this group.
Okay, Madeline, you want to introduce?
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Madeline, you're our new member. We're going to put you on the spot right away. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell everybody about you.
Hi, I'm Maddie. I'm from Indianapolis, and I work in the education advocacy sector. So I'm doing data analytics with public data, specifically about education, student outcomes, things like that. Yeah. So I've been using Tableau for a year and a half. Yeah. So I'm still a newbie.
Okay, great. Laura?
Awesome. Hi, my name is Laura. If you've been here before, you've seen me, but I work at a law firm in Chicago, USA, and I use Tableau for more financial analysis. So a bit different from what a lot of other people I know use, but since I work in a law firm, it's a pretty niche field, but we use it to analyze financial risk and things like that. So it's a very different usage. So I've had to be creative with my use of Tableau. So it's been fantastic. And I first used Tableau in 2018, and now I'm using Tableau for work. So yeah, I love being part of this group. So thank you.
Okay, Reyes?
Hi all. Yeah, now that Maddie's here, I'm no longer the newbie to the team. So thanks, Maddie, and welcome. But yeah, I've been using Tableau for going on 3 years now. I use it in the biotech world as a scientist by training. I consider myself a data storyteller, and leveraging the tools that Tableau offers has been essential in my day job.
Okay, and I'm Jim Daner, and I live in Nashville, Tennessee, or just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, and I've been using Tableau now for 7 years. Klaus and I are visionaries, and I've been a visionary now for 3 years at this point. And I know most of you from the forum. Viraj?
Hey, hi everyone. I'm Viraj from Mumbai, India, and well, I'm newbie at heart and always newbie, and I'm enjoying Tableau, this group as well, and overall as a tool. And looking forward to meet you guys, connect with you, and you guys have probably seen me posting a lot on social media about the group and probably the emails that you get. It's me, so I'm sorry for spamming your mailbox, but that's where I'm trying to reach out to you.
Yeah, Viraj makes up
Happy to
for
be here.
some of our technical deficiencies at this point. Klaus, I think that covers us.
Yeah. Okay. So great team. Yeah. And in this first part now, we want to talk about our topic for today, or about Jim and my topic for today, and that is tables, tables, tables. So everyone loves a nice table. for sure, Tableau is a data visualization tool, but I think if everyone is honest, creating tables takes up a lot of space in our daily work. So people appreciate, people love, people like tables. And that's why we thought it's worth talking about tables and how to make the most out of them with Tableau. And this is what this part will be about. We will share some demos, or we will share one demo where we create some simple tables, share some tricks on adding pre-attentive attributes to these tables. And then maybe also do a little outlook on more advanced topics to create something really, really nice with tables and Tableau. So when we talked about this,
I
sure.
have a question about this because I get questions on the forum all the time, and they usually start out, I've got 2 Excel tables, and I want to do this and I want to do that. Is that what we're talking about? We're talking about putting tables together like that from different databases? Is that what we're talking about?
No, we actually don't talk about that, and this is what this is about. When we say we're talking about tables today, we are talking about a table as a data visualization. So we're not on the data source page in this in this meeting today. So we don't join or union or build relationship between tables. No, we use our variables from our different tables and create tables as data visualizations. So we are here on the bottom right page today. Is that what you were also thinking about, Jim?
Yeah, absolutely. But I know people get confused out there when they start talking about tables and tables and tables. Well, let's get into the presentation.
Yeah. So, like I said, this is a major part, and this is really often asked for by users. So users want to see tables because they know, especially when they come from an Excel world, they know these representations of data by just looking at their data in this columns and rows form. And so they have a place in data analysis for sure. But when we are coming from this Tableau world, maybe we know that this is often not the best way to show data, because especially these tables are lacking any pre-attentive attributes. What are pre-attentive attributes? They help us to process information very quickly. And there are different pre-attentive attributes mentioned here. And when you look at these different blocks, you will very, very quickly see that there is always one element different from the others. And you realize that by not going through the lines and columns bit by bit, but you just take a look and you see, okay, there is something different. There is another color, there's some grouping, there is a different width or a different length. And this is how data visualizations work. We are using pre-attentive attributes to encode data, for example, through a bigger size or a different color or a different shape. And when we have these very pure tables, like in Excel, most of the time we are lacking these pre-attentive attributes. And these are, for example, some examples where we have implemented them. And when you look at these, for example, at the top left, you see there is some conditional formatting on the margin column. And we very easily see, okay, there is something going wrong with binders. At the top right, there is a visual where we compare the revenue to target. And we see very quickly art and chairs are on target and the others are below target. Or at the bottom left, we have this little spark line, and we see we have the top, the minimum, and the maximum value highlighted through this little red and green dots. So these are all visual elements that help us to get the insights from this table. Or at the bottom right, we have this shapes showing us if something went up or down compared to prior year, probably in this case.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are still, yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Well, I'm going to claim my ignorance here, because these are questions that I see every day coming in on the forum, mostly in the form of, I want to do conditional formatting like it looks in Excel. What do I do? And these are very real world questions. And you know what? I'm going to learn a lot today. So carry on.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, and we will actually create something like this. But yeah, once you've understood how creating these tables actually works, you will be not so far away from creating something as beautiful as this. And this is also a table. And it was created by Ludovic Tavernier, by the way. Yeah, very, very different from what a default text table in Tableau looks like. And the technique to create something like this is actually not that hard to do. And we will introduce you today that you will be able to create something like this as well. So thank you, Ludovic, for sharing these great examples with the community. Okay, so it's demo time now, and we will guide you through this step by step. We will start very easily with the defaults. Then we will try to add some pre-attentive attributes, like in my first example. And then we will, I will show you how to create such a custom visual table, like the example from Ludovic. And we will talk about some of the terms that we had in previous meetings. So we will talk about measure names, measure values. We will talk about headers and dimensions and measures, and yeah, how to combine everything to create what we want. So let me switch to Tableau. So like I said, we want to start with the very, very basic approach. And to create the first table, we will actually use Show Me. So there is nothing wrong with using Show Me. If you never used Show Me, at the top right, you have this little button to enable Show Me. And when you hover these little visuals, you will see at the top left, we have text tables. And there is actually another table, a highlight table at the top right. And for a text table, we need one or more dimensions and one or more measures. So how could you now create a text table with Show Me? So I want to see category, I want to see subcategory, I want to break it down to years, and I want to look at sales. So these are the variables I want to use. And then I just hit text table, and I get my first text table. Yeah, so this looks pretty much like my very first example. So just pure numbers, nothing visual. Yeah, just the raw data, I would even say. Then let's see how a highlight table would look like. So for a highlight table, I'm also using Show Me. We will also put the measure that's in the view on color. And then Tableau will switch to the square mark type compared to the text mark type in the text table. Yeah, and in a highlight table, we are now, we have a first pre-attentive attribute in the view, which is color. And we very quickly see that phones in 2023 is the highest value in our table. And that, for example, fasteners are quite a light green, and so they have only little sales, especially in 2021. Yeah, so this way we can create text tables or highlight tables quite quickly. And again, there is nothing wrong with using Show Me. You can then also go from here and rearrange your table a little bit. For example, if you want to switch the view, you can swap rows and columns and make it look like that, or however you want to design your table. Then maybe one little trick to spice the highlight table up just a little bit. So what I like to do is to work with row dividers here. There is actually maybe two ways to do it. What I like to do is to show the row dividers, but just for the header. So I'm enabling that one for the header and set it here to the right level. And then I'm adding a white border line for the square mark type. So you get this kind of nice design with a grayish divider line here for the header and white lines for the body of the table. So this is quite easy to do. Now, most of the time, we want to see more than one measure in a table. For example, looking at sales and profit at the same time. And to do something like that, you could, again, use Show Me. But what I want to share with you is a very simple approach. I thought, sharing this is so valuable because it's so easy to do. And therefore, I said double-clicking is your friend. So again, I want to look at category and subcategory. I want to break it down to years. And I want to look at sales and profit. And this is what you can very easily do by double-clicking on category, double-clicking on subcategory, double-clicking on order date, double-clicking on sales, and double-clicking on profit. Yeah. So this way, you can build up your table with multiple measures. And what you might have noticed is that we got two new things in our view, and that is measure values here. So we are using measure values, and Tableau filtered down our measure names to sales and profit. We have measure values on text, not just the single measures profit and sales, but measure values. And we have measure names here on the column shelf. And what you could now do, for example, is, so right now we have first the measure names and then the years. You could also swap this and have the year first and then profit and sales side by side, or change the order of the two pills to show sales first and profit second. Yeah, so maybe this is our starting point. Starting very simple. So this way we create basic tables in Tableau. Anything you want to add, Jim?
I think we're getting a couple questions here, but you're about to dive into something that I'm really interested in. A lot of people are saying that they have never seen this before, where they can double click. And I was just going to put a note in the chat, but I'll just tell everybody right now, Klaus is an Iron Viz champion. Okay, so he really knows how to put tables and presentations together. So enjoy it. This is a real treat. So, Klaus, let's go to the next level.
Yeah.
On this.
Yeah. Okay. So now, so we want to add pre-attentive attributes, and like Jim said, Jim is the king of the forums. Something like, how can I do conditional formatting in Tableau is a very common question. And this is what we want to do first. One easy thing to do. So you see we have measure values here on text. We can also use measure values on color. And that might not look what you maybe want to have in the first step, but we can now work with measure values on color in a way, first of all, to enable separate legends for each column. So you see it here on the top right side, we get one color legend for sales and one for profit. And a typical requirement could now be, okay, I want to show sales just in pure black numbers, and for profit, I want a visual indicator if the profit is positive or negative by adding color. So now I'm changing the two color legends. Let's go to sales first. And to make it black, you have to switch the automatic color palette to a custom diverging palette. And the trick is to make it black on both sides of the palette, and to add a step color palette with just 2 steps. Yeah, so this way we get our black back, and then the same we will do for profit. So we will do some custom colors, so red for negative, some dark blue for positive, and again make it a 2-step color palette. And this way we can highlight our negative values, or maybe we can even make go for black instead for blue. Then we would just put emphasis on the negative values and highlight them like this. For a highlight table, basically it's the same approach. Put measure values on color, but then switch to the square mark type, and you will get something like this. Then again, enable separate legends for both columns. And now we might want to see a white background for the sales. So we will color the sales column in white. Again, do a custom diverging palette, change it to white on the left side, to white on the right side, make it a 2-step color palette, and hit apply. So we get rid of the color in this column, and here again now I'm going for red and blue, and again a 2-step column like that, and this way we can create something like you might know from Excel. Okay, so maybe this is a good first.
Yeah,
is there a question, Jim?
No, just a comment here. This is a question that I see out on the forum at least twice a week. At least twice a week, someone comes in and says, "How do I do this? How can I do this conditional formatting like Excel or like Google Sheets?" And it's really very easily done, and it doesn't take more than a couple minutes to do it. Klaus, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So next challenge is to add some visuals. Yeah. I've shown examples with little spark lines or with bullet charts, and we will go with spark lines first. And maybe one thing to mention when we are here on this page, we don't have any continuous fields on columns and rows yet. So we are not working with axes here. So we have just used the text mark type or the square mark type, but we are limited to one default marks card so far. And now we want to use different mark type. We want to use a line chart. So what we want to do is, or what I want to do is, I'm showing the sales of 2023 here. And now it would be nice to see to break these sales down to the 12 months of 2023 and to show the total value next to the different months and see how the trend over the month were. To do that, we won't use sales here on the text mark, but we will switch it over here to rows and then make it discrete like that. Yeah, it looks a little bit odd in the first place, but we will format that number in a second step. Next thing is I want to break it down to month. And when I do that, I get one mark for every month. And because there are different sales values, I get 12 rows for every subcategory. And that is obviously not what I want to do. And therefore, I will do a ad hoc calculation here directly in the pill. And I will add a comment. So this will be my sales. And for my sales, I will add a window function. So this is a window sum of sales. So this will sum up all the values from across all the months. And then I will make it discrete again. And you see, this is where we want to go. Yeah. Now I could format that a little bit. So right align the numbers and add some less precision. So I'm good with 0 decimals at this case. And then only thing we have to do is to add sales to rows, and we will get a line chart. Yeah, we are almost there. Then we can add an independent axis range for every row. We will hide the axis and then just bring everything together to get back our tabular view and make this really, really small. And like that, we have added a nice little sparkline to our table. Again, we are using a header here. So this is a discrete pill. And we have implemented a window function to sum up the values from the different months. And then we can show the sales right next to it. I will also hide this header. And that's it. Yeah, so this way we are able to add sparklines to our tables, and not only sparklines, but also show the text the text visual right next to it. Yeah, something very similar for a waterfall chart. So I'm looking here at 2023 and over all the months from January all the way down to December, and I'm summing up sales and I'm summing up profit. And I might want to see a waterfall chart for the profit. So I'm bringing profit to columns, then just make it a running calculation like that, switch to a Gantt bar, and bringing profit again on size with a negative sign. So this way we create waterfall charts, and you have a nice waterfall chart next to your discrete measures. So I've created these running sales and running profit just the same way like I did with sales before. Yeah, so I think this is a nice way to work with pre-attentive attributes in tables. We could now add color here maybe as well, bringing that one on color and highlighting the month where we had negative profit. So these are the orange months. In October, we saw quite a dip in profit. And also in the first month of the year and in May, and then in the other month, the profit was positive. Okay, good. So that's maybe stage 2. We've added some pre-attentive attributes, and what I always try to do is to keep everything in one view. I know transforming these measures from continuous to discrete measures can be tricky, but the advantage is that you can then add like sparklines or bar charts or whatever without adding another sheet, for example, and that's often what I want to see and what I prefer to do. Now let's move on. Last step, what can you do to go really beyond that and to create something like Ludovic does in the example I shared earlier? To do that, you have to get rid of headers in your tables. And again, this is an example where I have category, subcategory, and profit ratio as discrete blue pills in my table. And this is looking nice, but we have some limitations here. And one limitation is, for example, that you cannot show totals for discrete measures. So if I wanted to show the total for category, I would enable, or the grand total that I just enabled, you see, we don't get a value for profit ratio. Or if I add the subtotals just for the category, we won't get values for furniture, for office supplies, or for technology. Or you might want to maybe hide this header and label this independently and say, okay, this here is not total, but you want this to be furniture, for example. Yeah, then you will get furniture for every total, like you see here. So that just does not work. Yeah, and if you want to go beyond this, you have to take a different approach. And this is where we will use so-called fake axes. Yeah, so again, I have prepared a basic table, and I want to look at quarterly and monthly sales. And the first thing I want to do, for example, is to combine the quarter and the month in one cell of my table. Yeah, so and that is even hard to do in that is somehow to do with headers, but you then cannot format these cells or these two elements in the cell independently. And to do that, we will create a fake header, and a fake header is just a calculation like this one. So I'm calculating the minimum of -1. And when I do that, I get something like this. So automatically Tableau adds a line chart, but I want this to be a Gantt bar. And with this Gantt bar, I get 1 mark for every row. And now I'm dragging quarter on text, and I'm dragging month on text. Yeah, and then I will just increase the size of this a little bit. And I will start formatting everything. So I want this to be, right aligned. Then I'm clicking into my text box and change this one to left aligned. So I will put everything nicely right of my Gantt bar. Maybe I'm going for a slightly smaller font for the quarter, maybe add some more formatting, in this case, making it italic. And you will see how this, what the effect is. And what I will then do is to hide my headers. Yeah. So this does not look like a table yet. I will do some more formatting. I will get rid of all the lines that I have in the view. I will also get rid of the 0 lines. And let me turn off the column divider and bring the row divider to the next level. And you get an idea that this could look like a table at some point. Yeah, and this way I will just add more fake axes. So for example, next I want to show sales. So I will drag off quarter and month here, and I will add sales. Sales on label, and maybe I want to see here a percentage of total. So this is the percentage of my total sales. And I also want to see the sales here in the same cell. Yeah, again, some formatting. In this case, I want to see the measures not right but left of the mark. And here I just right align them. And again, here I want to make the font a little bit smaller and also go for italic like that. Okay, good. Yeah, so this is starting to look like a table. I still have my Gantt bars. Maybe I don't want them. Then I just decrease the size and set the opacity to 0. Or maybe I want to see them and use them as a design element in my table. Then I could make it a little bit bigger. So I could add, for example, 0.5 on size. So that would increase the size a little bit. And then also put quarter on color, for example. Yeah, so I would get a nice visual element within my table. Yeah, and then let's see, we are adding totals again, show the column grand totals, and that also works, of course. Yeah, now we are easy, or we are free to add these totals. That wasn't possible before, and we can just add more and more and more columns, as many as we need. Yeah, and I just played around a little bit just before the meeting, and yeah, you can combine visuals, you can combine your normal numbers, you can add pre-attentive attributes, as many as you want, and this way you can kind of easily go way beyond what a default text table in Tableau looks like.
Okay, Klaus,
I think we're
the
almost at the end. Yeah.
comments in chat are just blowing up. Many of them express the same feeling I have. This is amazing, man. This is absolutely amazing. So we are about at the time where we've got to get Ludovic going here. So can you kind of wrap up where we are and let's get Ludovic on it.
Yeah, okay, good. So I think these are the basic techniques to create visual tables. Again, Ludovic is a great example. If you want to see really nice looking tables, visit Ludovic's Tableau public profile. There's even a more advanced technique that is available in the community based on work again from Ludovic and from Sam Parsons. But that was for sure too much for today. But I hope you get an idea of where this is going, and I'm really hoping that you can take something away from this. So thanks for your feedback. Okay, good. Yeah, I think we mentioned the name quite a lot already, Ludovic. Great to have you with us here today. And like Jim said, Ludovic is a superstar in the community, and he has really been influential, not just for me, but for many people that are using the tool today. And if you haven't visited his Tableau public profile yet, and I'm sure you will find the link in the chat, please do. And this is some of the best work that has been created in Tableau to date. Ludovic works as a senior data analyst and data visualization specialist at Ledger in France. And he's known in the community for his great work on Tableau Public, but he's also an IronVis finalist. He did an amazing visual in front of 20,000 people at Tableau conference. And you might have seen his big little tips on social media, on Twitter and LinkedIn, where Ludovic shares some of his best tips and tricks together with Yvette Kovac, and you just have to bookmark and follow this hashtag. Ludovic will talk about dashboard containers, a topic that can be quite frustrating when you work with them, but they are so useful if you know how to use them, and I think this is what your session will be about. So take it away from here, Ludovic.
Hey, thank you, Klaus, and thank you for the great introduction. So let me share. Oh yeah, I can see the button now. I was afraid something was going wrong. Okay, share my screen. Entire screen 2, share. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, let's go. So hi everyone. So thanks again for the opportunity, Jim, the team, Klaus for speaking today. And so I'm database specialist at Ledger. It has already been said, and I've been working in the BI and data field for more than a decade, and I've been using Tableau for multiple years. Active member of the community for years, even if I slowed down a little bit these past 2 years. And some of you may know me from my work on Tableau Public. So don't hesitate to follow to keep updated. I will try to post more things this next month. And I try lately to share more business related visualizations. And like this work, for example, I shared a year ago. And actually, it's a redesign of one of the Tableau accelerators. And my objective was creating a better experience, a better design for it. And what you see on screen has have been built only using containers. And this is what I want to explain to you today. So I want to explain what containers are, how you can leverage them to create better experiences. And so I will some live demo on Tableau Desktop, especially in 2 minutes. So, and if you have a dual screen and want to follow the same steps as I would do, I invite you to open your Tableau Public or Tableau Desktop, and yeah, do the same things as me. Okay. Oh, the agenda for today. So I will present you the dashboard creation interface because we have to learn some basics first and container basics. We'll discuss a little bit about user experience basics and how containers can help us to improve our user experience practice. And we will create a layout from scratch. Same, I will invite you to do the same, even if maybe it will be challenging in the time left. But anyway, I will give you the workbook to play with during the session. Okay, and yeah, so basically this is the work we'll try to achieve by the end of the session. If we do not have time to do it, I will do it myself. But yeah, we'll have time later to try to replicate. This is a basic page belonging to a sales and shipment dashboards. We have primary navigation at the top to change the page. We have a filter section to be applied on the page. And we have two sections, one about sales performance, one about shipment status. Within the sales performance one, we'll have two charts. One, the top one will be used to filter the one at the bottom. And on the shipment status, we have two cards, one about backlog information from shipments, and the other one just a basic timeline of the past shipments. And this is the work we'll try to achieve at the end. Visualization are already built because that's not the topic of today, but yeah, we'll focus on the layout. But first, let's start from the beginning, and yeah, you see on Tableau how we can use containers and some basic about dashboard creation. So I will open Tableau. Okay, you can do the same on your side. I will drop it here on screen. Actually, you even do not need to connect to data. You can have just an empty Tableau desktop open like that, and we go through to the dashboard creation interface. So I let you click here on this little button at the bottom to create a new dashboard. You will arrive on the dashboard creation interface. You will have two panels, one called dashboard, the other one called layout. And on the dashboard panel, you will have features like managing the different layouts, managing the size of the dashboard, the sheets, the list of sheets you've been creating earlier, and the one you can use in your creation zone, and the objects, same, you can use and drag and drop in the creation zone. And you can already see that our beloved containers are located in this object section. And finally, something important, we have what we call tide and floating, and it allows you basically to build your dashboard with tide element or floating element. And I will spend 1 minute on that because I think it's important for the following. If you stay on the default on tiled version. You, for example, let's say I want to put 3 blank spaces on my screen. I will use blank here and drag and drop a blank on screen, and you see I did not drop yet that Tableau guide me to take the full available space in the creation zone, drop it, I'm still in tiled. And if I select a new one and try to place it on the left side, Tableau will guide me and force me to align it with the one I already placed on my creation zone. So let's say I want to place it on the left. And yeah, so tiled version is all about this, about Tableau guiding you to align objects on screen. Without changing, you cannot change the position, but you can change the size of the element you put on screen. So I can use the middle border here to change the size. Floating is a different experience. If I click on floating here and try to place a blank space on my screen again, okay, let's do it. You see that Tableau placed it where I drop it, and it's floating, that's a good name for that, inside the creation zone. And if you select the little gray area at the top of the box here, you can change the position, but maybe you already knew that. You can also change the size and resize, etc. So basically 2 very different experiences. There is 2 teams in Tableau community. Either you love tiled, either you love floating. Personally, I'm team tiled because you will see this is how I can leverage the most my containers and create the experiences I already shared. Okay, now the layout panel. So, and this is also an important one. So maybe I can remove the floating and speak only about the tiled version. So on the layout panel, you can go back to floating if you want on your selected item, but that won't be the case here. Position is useless. It's only if you have floating element, and you can change different aspects of your element, the element you've been selecting. So elements can be containers, blank objects, buttons, and the sheet. You can change the border. Let's say I want to add a border to this one. And you can change the background. Let's say I will apply a yellow to this blank space. You can change outer and inner padding. So outer is the margin, the padding margin. Let's say you have outside of the border, and the inner padding is the one you have inside the border. Let's use the 16. You will see that I use a lot of 8 multiples when I use padding and margin. It's just the system I use. You can use your own system, like 5s or 10s multiples. And yeah, I use 8. It's a convention that is used by others in other community, like the web design one. So yeah, I choose to use that one. And yeah, but it's important, I think, to stick to your system to create nice and consistent work, a nice and consistent design. So yeah, choose one and stick to this system. I will apply a border on the one on the left. Okay, same, and a blue and 16. And I will go further maybe and add another blank space. I'm still in tiled. No, okay, go back to tile, blank space at the bottom. So you see Tableau help me to guide me to place it in red. Okay, like that. And here we go. So I created this kind of modular dashboard. And the last item I wanted to share with you is the item hierarchy. This is where you will find the element you put on screen. In this very simple tile version, I already have the master container, actually, even we did not know that. It's a tile one, and it will be the only one you will have on screen. It's your master container where you have all your other objects. And here I can see my 3 objects. You could say, why should I not stick to this basic simple way to add elements to the creation zone? It's simple here because we only use blank spaces, but as long as you will add many other sheets, many other elements, objects, and I can guarantee it will be much more complicated to achieve great designs with this technique. And this is where containers can help you to step up your game and create beautiful experiences. So let's use containers for the first time. I want to create this same design, but with containers. So first, I want to align 2 objects horizontally. So I will use horizontal container, drag and drop on screen. You see that you have now you arrive in this box, with blue borders. This is your containers. Containers is a box where you will align objects horizontally or vertically. Let's add a blank space within that box. For the experience is the same as earlier. One that takes the whole space and another one. And this is where it can become sometimes tricky, but once you're used to it, it's very easy. You have to place element within the box, so you have to take care of the box you are within. So here it's simple because I only one container, and you have to have this thin gray zone that tell you on which side you gonna drop your objects. Let's drop it. So I have those 2 elements. Let's add some colors, same. So I go on layout, borders, blue, just to recognize, no, yellow. Say, I will apply the 16 again. Same, 16, border, and blue. Okay. You will see that in your item hierarchy, within the master container, the tile 1, you have now a horizontal container. And if you want to achieve what we've been doing earlier, you will add a nested container within that horizontal container. So let's do it. Let's add a vertical container inside the horizontal container we've been creating. Oh, it takes the whole place. And this is where containers are also helpful, because within containers, you can click here on any elements you have in your containers and edit the width or the height. Let's edit the width. Say, okay, I do something random here. Let's edit the width to 400 pixels. I click OK. And here I have these containers within the horizontal container. One thing that is also cool with containers is that wherever you are located in, you can always go back to the containers you are within by clicking on the little gray zone. Here you have on each object. For example, here I go on the blue one, double click here, and I'm within the horizontal container, just for you to know. So let's continue. I will take my blue container and place it in the vertical container and add a new blank space within that vertical container and use the same formatting I used before to create the same kind of dashboard, or let's place this 16. So this is the basics of containers. You can see as an hierarchy. Containers are boxes, and you will create your designs by creating nested containers that contains your layout information, and containers are helpful to align those elements. Okay, this was the first part. Now some UX principle, and you will see how containers can help you to create, to follow those principles. The first one I wanted to share with you is the law of proximity. The law of proximity in your design are objects that are near or proximate to each other tend to be grouped together. And for example, on the dashboard we will create together, I applied this principle to, let's say, group together the navigation buttons because they share the same feature, the same functionality of navigating somewhere else. I grouped the filters together and I grouped the element of each sections together. And hey, guess what? You can see too to show you that I draw boxes. And those boxes will actually be containers in our design. The second one, and no, don't be afraid. I will only share two today. Second one is the law of common region, and it's very easy. Its elements tend to be perceived into groups if they are sharing an area with the same clearly defined boundary or the same background, let's say. And you can see I applied this principle in my design to group together elements within the sections. For example, I grouped in the first section, I grouped the first chart with the second one because they will be deeply connected because of the filtering action of the first chart on the second one. And on the second section, I grouped together the information about backlog within the same background because they are talking about the exact same topic. And hey, same here to show you this and to show you this principle, I draw boxes. And same, we will create containers to apply these designs and this to follow those principles. Okay, and now I will show you how you can use those containers and the principle I shared to create the dashboard I shared with you. But I wanted to start with a wireframe because I want to give you I want to show you what's going on in my head, when I want to create a dashboard. Sometimes I even do it, but yeah, I'm got used to it, so most of the time in my head, but let's see how it goes. So I have this wireframe of what I already described, the dashboard we will create. And when you draw this wireframe, it is really clear of which containers you have to use. You will need a master container, horizontal one, to align horizontally the header, the filter section, and the body of the report. In the header, you will have another container to align vertically this time the title and the navigation system. And I will choose to add this navigation system within a container to apply the same rules, the same design tokens to these elements. Same, I will have a container inside the big one you follow to align the filters. And I will have a container to host the two sections. And of course, within those containers, other containers to align the objects of the first section and to align the objects of the second sections. So this is what happened in my head when I create dashboard. I just have boxes everywhere and I try to nest those boxes to create the dashboard I want to design. Okay, now it's time to build. I don't know if we have time to do that. Okay, let's go back to this. But yeah, I have I can share with you the workbook. If you want to follow the steps, I drop it in the text box, in the chat box. So if you want to download this document, you will find the exercise workbook where you can try to follow my steps or try to replicate at the end of the session. After the session.
Ludovic, we've got a couple of minutes here. There's a lot of questions coming up, a lot of comments coming up about users who they try to create the end without creating the wireframe or the sketch or the starting place. So if you could kind of go through that, what you actually did, I think a lot of these questions might get answered. I think there's some value in doing that if you can do it in a few minutes.
About the wireframing?
Yes.
I'm not sure I understood. So I do not usually wireframe a lot because I'm used to think and to have everything in my head. But yeah, wireframe is.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. You've got about 5 or 10 minutes left, so go ahead with where you were going.
Yeah, you have like around 10 minutes left. Yeah.
10 minutes left. So yeah, I will continue. But yeah, we can discuss wireframing later. And you have a great product from Robert with about wireframing on Figma or this kind of thing. Usually, if I need to wireframe and share wireframes, I do it, let's be honest, on G-Slide. And because it's really easy and people can add notes and this kind of thing. And the wireframe I shared with you earlier just took me 5 minutes to build in this G-Slide document. Yeah. So, but let's try to follow the wireframe I did, and okay, let's go. So I have the workbook where I prepared the visualization I want to use in my dashboard, and I click on creating a new dashboard. Okay, I will set the dashboard side to the one I used most of the time, and I will start building the dashboard. If you remember well, I have to start with, so yeah, thought I had the document on. Okay, if you remember well, I have to build first an horizontal one. Okay, let's do this. So I will, no, vertical one, sorry, I am a bit dyslexic. So I use a vertical container and within that container, when I place containers, I always begin with 2 blank space. Those 2 blank space are very helpful. They will act as support for the element I will place within the container I use. And the more you will build with containers, you will see how those blank space and as supports can be really helpful. So I place the first containers. I can already add another padding, let's say 16, add a border, just to, okay, have a nice border like that. And in the item hierarchy, you can see I have my first vertical container. Then I need to add an horizontal container for the title. So let's add one. And you saw how I placed it in between my 2 support blank space. Okay, edit 8, I can put, for example, an 80. I will put another horizontal container for my filters. Let's say same 180. And finally, I will put an horizontal container, the last one, for the 2 sections. Let's use something ridiculous here to make sure it takes the whole space. So now I have my 3 containers. Let's start with the first one, the header, simple. So I will add 2 blank space within just to have the supports containers I was talking about. And I will add the text, the dashboard title. So let's very quickly just format it. And NewbieTUG, and sales and achievements. Okay. I remove one of the support. I can remove the support at the top, and I have my title. I will, on the second one, for the filter, I will just apply the first let's say this gray, just to make it available, to make it more visible for my next steps, because obviously I do not have any things on my dashboard yet, so no filters. On the section 1, I have same, I will put 2 blank space just to have those supports, and I will add vertical containers to create my first sections. Something very powerful you can use for your containers is you can distribute contents evenly. It will share your containers in how many objects you are on screen and share evenly. It's really powerful, really useful, and I use it all the time. So, okay, I have now these containers. I will reuse this support in that containers up. And now I have my first sections ready to be built. Let's start with this first section. I will add some margin, let's say 16. I will use some text to create the section title. Let's say, I can't remember, overview, let's say. And add some formatting. So I do it quickly because I think we'll go through. Okay, sales overview. You can begin to start with add your padding system. So I will apply 8 for everything inside that container. And finally, one last container where I will, okay, let's add those supports I was talking about. Wait, support. And let's align those 2 charts. Then I can format this container with the formatting options we've seen earlier. So first, maybe let's apply a background to the master container of the body. So as I mentioned earlier, you can just double click. You are somewhere in your dashboard and you do not know where you are. You just double click on your little area you have here, and you will go up in your container hierarchy. This one, let's apply. Yeah, maybe this way, it's too much. Okay, I go back in that, I want to go back in that container, same, I click on the sheet here, I double click, I'm within the container of those 2 sheets. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, let's apply a white. Let's apply an outer padding, the same one as the section title. Let's remove the blank space that were used as support. Let's make it entire view. Let's change the size of this element. Too much, actually. Oh, sorry, so edit width, or edit 8 in that case. Okay, and on that one, on those 2, I will add inner padding to make it more, add some white space to make it more nice. Oh, I still have a, okay, support. So you have this little pin here if you want just to apply the remaining space you have on screen within your containers, you can click on it. And finally, let's apply a little grayish thing. So this is how I built the first section within containers, with only nested containers. And if you go on the item hierarchy, you will see which layout system, which container system I use. So you got the very first one, then the header. You can rename those, by the way. Right click, rename. You can call it header. You can call this thing where you will have your filters. Oh, sorry, filters. Oop. And this one is the body one, etc., etc. And inside the body, you have you will have your 2 containers to align your sections. I think I have been a little ambitious with what I want to achieve today with you, but I think you got it. How with applying containers within containers box boxes within boxes. You can create, design just with this system, and of course applying, playing with the background, the borders, the outer and inner paddings. Only with those very basic features, you can create very different, very good designs, in my opinion. If you leverage all of this. Yeah, that's what I wanted to show today. Sorry, I did not have the time to show everything, but I will share everything on my Tableau Public. So don't hesitate to go there and download everything. And yeah,
That was
have
beautiful.
fun.
That was, and chat is just blowing up. I mean, it's just going crazy out here. Between what you two showed today, in terms of formatting and creating customization in the dashboard, is just, I mean, that is where new users and people who would attend this group get so confused, and it's so difficult, and you made it look so easy. Thank you so much. Everybody wants to have the recording, and they want to be able to start and stop it and run it at their own pace many times. So thank you, Ludovic. Thank you,
Sure.
Klaus.
So sorry, I was quick at the end. Yeah, I wanted to show you.
Yeah. Also from my side, thank you, Ludovic. Always taking away things from your presentations. So that's great. Maybe one question: does it also happen to you sometimes that you sometimes realize that you have like 10 containers wrapped into each other and you don't know where they come from?
Yeah, it happened a few years back. It happened a lot, but since I'm always trying to be mindful when I use containers now. So what I did today, I do it all day long at my work.
Mhm.
I want to be the one that place the containers, are responsible of which element I placed within. And I think what you mentioned happened where I was just messing around with everything without using the time to place my containers by myself.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah,
I
that's
that
what,
I don't have it.
Okay,
yeah, that's what I also experienced. When you do it mindfully, then you won't run into that issue. Yeah. Thank you, Ludovic.
We just have one question, which probably we can Ludovic probably answer, is there a trick to control or eliminate the extra containers that gets automatically added?
A limit? This is what you said?
Is there a trick to control or eliminate the extra containers that
Oh,
gets
no.
automatically added?
No, I think there is no control. Yeah, you have to do it manually. And yeah, but if you are very confused about all the containers you have on screen, sometimes the best solution is within the same screen. Go reworking from scratch and adding this, for example, the very first horizontal containers and doing all of it all over again. And to be honest, it will be maybe challenging first, but once you are used to it, it is very quick.
Okay. I think we might be ready for our quiz. Laura, are you ready to go out there? Crickets. I don't know if Laura's out there.
I was muted. Yes, we should be ready. Give me a minute. I
Okay.
need to.
Okay.
So while
in that,
Laura sets it up, just one tip from my side, Jim, that when I use containers, I also rename them in the item hierarchy so that I know which containers I'm using. So that also helps.
Okay, well, Laura's getting ready. I don't know if any of our members here, know of a initiative that's run by 3 of the other visionaries. It's called Open Office Wednesday. And Zach Weiss, Nicole, all of a sudden I've drawn a blank on Nicole's last name, and have open office hours on Wednesdays. And we're going to drop a link into the chat, and you can go out and arrange time with them, pose questions to them. Is it Okay, Viraj has just dropped it into the chat. You go out to that link, go on out there, and you can arrange one-on-one time with them. And they are very, very knowledgeable also. So take advantage of the opportunity. It's another one of those things that, another resource that Tableau has available to you that you may not be aware of. Laura, are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, then
Yeah, I'm
I'll
ready to
shut
go.
up and get
Okay.
out of your way.
Okay, I will share my screen. Let me click on start. Okay, give me a minute, guys. Okay. Let me see where it's sharing. Okay, let me know if you get skin. Yeah. So the code is 640. I'll copy it and put it in the chat. Oh. Okay. Got the first person. I might disable the audio after we get everybody signed up, but it's fun. Let's see. I'll wait until we get at least like 100 if possible. Okay. 70. I'll wait for like a few more people. Okay, I'm gonna start because I don't want to run out of time. Is that good with everybody? Just want to check.
Yes, let's
Go for
get
it, Laura.
started.
I'm gonna go
Go for
start.
it.
Okay. Oh, so that's the right answer. Klaus showed one of the first ones that he showed. So let's see. Good job, Miguel. Let's go to the next one. Awesome. Sorry, it's taking.
I believe this one took everyone by surprise when Klaus showed it.
Yeah. We had some questions about this as well. So
Yeah. And this is one of my very favorite.
yeah. So yeah, it's not right clicking. We double click on the measures and then and that's how we get the. Let's see who is. Oh, Miguel. Okay, we have new people.
Nice.
Okay, next one. This is just a very simple one. I was trying my best to.
Oh, nice one. And we know you created this on the fly in the sessions.
I don't exactly know what they're going to present a lot of the time, so I just wait until they're presenting. So let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, good job. Yeah, no, you can hide headers when you're creating tables in Tableau. So that's already the tip that Klaus had. Let's see. Oh my, good job, Miguel. Oh my God. We know who's the star now. So okay, let's see. this just for more details. Klaus did a presentation about this in the conference as well, so it was a very good refresher.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, you don't have to create a new measure with other data. You can do a window sum, and there's more steps, but I thought this was the most important one that Klaus did out of creating the other steps. So let's see. Oh my God. Okay, Preston, we have new people, Tom T, Mayank. Okay, let's go to the next one. Yeah, this is
Good
just
going.
where our container is located. I just took screenshots of what you did, Little Big, so.
We cannot be contained. Nice one.
Okay. Oh, good job, guys. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna go to the next one. No, let's see. I think it's still Miguel. Oh wow. Good job, Miguel. We have Tom T climbing up the ranks. Next one's a multi-select. You just don't use containers, like you can do that, but you can also do other things.
We go to the community and wait for Jim's answer.
You can always do that.
Epic.
Good job. Yes, we can adjust a bit two ways. We can adjust within the layout and click on the arrow drop down on the top right. So I'm glad nobody's selected. You don't use containers. Oh wow, Annie, that's a big jump.
It's completely changed. Yeah.
Oh wow, good job, Bobby. You have a streak with 6 correct answers in a row. Awesome. Let's go to the next one. This I think we had some questions about. I did make some bad answers. My jokes aren't as good this time, so you will have to forgive me.
Very true, Wendy. Yeah. Wait for Jim's answer is a possible correct answer.
Awesome. Yeah, he did make a wireframe. I tried doing that for one of the dashboards I built, but I had to change a lot of things after. But it's good. It's a good starting point.
Yeah.
Let's see who. Okay. Oh, hi. 12
Lisa.
players just answer. Oh, awesome. Congrats, Lisa. We have, I think, maybe 2 more questions. Yeah, so we do nested containers. I know that was, he didn't specifically mention that a lot, but the way that he was using containers within other containers, so that's what we call a nested container, and that's what Ludovic was using. So all the other answers are also good, but I'm glad nobody selected containers for the week, so we'll live by that. Let's see. Oh, good job, Lisa. Oh wow, we have Mayank and other people, Preston, Tom T, joining back us here. This is just a question that I get a lot, so I just thought it would be fun to have it.
You steal all the data.
You can steal the data. That's what I do.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know from where,
Okay.
but I find it.
But there are many resources.
There are many sources, yeah. But mostly we do use one thing, yeah. So yeah, it's not Tableau public, but we use the Superstore data set just because I get a lot of questions on that. So yeah, I think, let's see. Oh, good job. Oh, wow. Good job, Tom.
Tom T.
Oh, they're all getting the answers.
Jay-Z.
The answers. Okay. Who's the first person?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Lisa.
Lisa, good job.
Nice, Lisa. Congrats, Lisa.
Yeah, so that's.
And we have Preston and Mayank on 4th and 5th.
Yeah,
Yes.
great job.
Thank you. I will stop sharing my screen. Yeah. Awesome.
There we go. Well, that wraps it up for today. Klaus, I think there's a slide, but we may not even have time to get to it. Our next meeting is going to be in September. It's going to be the 20th. We will be sending out invitations to that meeting sometime, maybe at the end of August. The first set of invitations will go out, and you'll want to be at this one because Andy Cotgreave is going to be our guest speaker at that one. Ludovic, thank you so much for what you did today. Really, really appreciate it. I know the members appreciated it also. Klaus, you were fabulous. I understand why you guys are Iron Viz guys, because you can really put together a dashboard in a hurry. Very impressive. Thank you all. People are disappearing.
Thanks to everyone for thanks everyone for attending today's session. Thank you, Ludovic. It was a pleasure as always. And we are looking forward to see you in September.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Mirage, you can stop the recording now.
I'll stop the recording.
Yes.
I
Okay.
just stopped it.